So now we will study about the role of cytokines in immune response. Cytokines they produce a variety of effects on a number of cell types and helps to regulate the immune response. Cytokines play an important role in alerting and activating the innate immune response to an infection. Cytokines also plays an important role in the initial response to a bacterial infection. Macrophages respond to the bacterial products by secreting two kinds of cytokines, that is tumor necrosis factor TNF and interleukin 1. They activate the nearby cells to recruit the leukocytes at the infection site. Activated macrophages also produce interleukin 12, which activates the natural killer and T cells to produce IFN gamma. This IFN gamma has feedback effect on the macrophage to increase the phagocytic potential and microbicidal properties of the macrophage. Then the cytokine related diseases. So here we have seen that how the what is the role of the cytokines in immune response. Role of cytokines in immune response, that the cytokines, as we know, that they produce a variety of effects of a number of cell types, and they also help to regulate the immune response. Just now we have seen, and cytokines, as we will see, that they play an important role in alerting and activating the innate immune response to an infection. So cytokines also play an important role in the initial response to a bacterial infection. So if there is some sort of bacterial infection, or the antigen in the form of bacteria, when it is entered, or when it enters into the host body, you will see that the cytokines, it play an important role in the initial response to a bacterial infection. Macrophages, they respond, the macrophages which are present in the host body, they will respond to the bacterial products by secreting two kinds of cytokines. So these macrophages, first they will come in contact with the bacteria, and they will secrete two kinds of cytokines, namely TNF and the IL1. Then these two cytokines, that is TNF and IL1, they will activate the nearby cells to recruit the leukocytes at the infection site. So they will activate this TNF and IL1 type of the cytokines. When they will activate and it will recruit the leukocytes, or it will make the leukocytes or WBCs to move towards the infection site. Activated macrophages also produce interleukin 12, which activates, apart from this, these activated macrophages, they will also produce interleukin 12, which will activate the natural killer cells and the T cells, which are already existing in the host body, and they will be activated to produce the IFN gamma. This IFN gamma has feedback effect on the macrophage to increase the phagocytic potential and microbicidal properties of the macrophage. Then some cytokine related diseases. A defect in the cytokines or in their regulation can cause severe diseases. A cytokine imbalance often causes a very abnormal body temperature and respiratory rate and high WBC counts, followed by capillary leakage, tissue injury, and lethal organ failure. So if there is some defect in the cytokines, or in their regulation or in their control, then it can cause severe disease. A cytokine, it can imbalance and cause a very abnormal body temperature. It may cause some respiratory rate problem, or increase in the WBC counts will be seen, followed by the blood capillary leakage or the tissue injury and lethal organ failure. One of them is the septic shock. Now, it is a common and potentially lethal disease. The spelling of potentially is wrong, student. Just you have to sorry, we have to remove W from that potentially word. So it is a septic shock. It is a common and potentially lethal disease. It develops after a few hours of infection by certain gram-negative bacteria. For example, E. coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, etc. The symptoms of disease include a drop in blood pressure. So the symptoms of this type of the disease with the we can say with the infection of the certain gram negative bacteria like the E. coli or Pseudomonas aeruginosa, you will see that the symptoms of this disease, it includes a drop or a decrease in the blood pressure, fever, diarrhea, and widespread blood clotting in various organs. So the symptoms of this disease, it includes a decrease in the blood pressure. It may also cause the fever or diarrhea and the widespread blood clotting in various organs. The disease develops because bacterial cell wall endotoxins bind to T lymphocytes. So the disease, how it is developed, due to the gram negative bacteria. In the gram negative bacteria, maybe the bacteria may be the E. coli or Pseudomonas. You will see that the bacterial cell wall, the external membrane of the bacteria, they produce the endotoxins which get binded to the T lymphocytes receptors, which will get binded to the T cells receptor sites on the T cells, which are present on the macrophages and dendritic cells, causing them to overproduce. And these T lymphocyte receptors, these are present on the macrophages and the dendritic cells, they will cause them to overproduce the interleukin 1 and TNF alpha. Due to high levels of these cytokines, it causes the septic shock. So bacterial septic shock is one of the example. Non-bacterial septic shock is caused by trauma, injury, certain cancers, and ischemia, that is decrease in the blood supply to an organ or a tissue. This disease is very common in developed countries like America. Then the bacterial toxic shock. Different kinds of bacteria produce toxins. These toxins act as super antigens. So bacteria, we know that they are the antigens and they produce different toxins, and these toxins, they will now act as super antigens. Because of their unique binding ability, these toxics can activate large number of the T cells. So these toxins which are produced by the cell wall of the bacteria, or which are produced by the external membrane or cell wall of the bacteria, they produce these toxins which are produced, they act as the super antigens, and because of their unique binding ability, they have a unique binding ability with the antibodies. They can activate the large number of the T cells which are the antibodies, irrespective of their antigenic specificity. Normally, regular antigens, they will induce T cells less than 0.01% of the total T cell population, but super antigens or bacterial toxins induce 5% or more T cells of the total population. The large number of T cells activated by these super antigens results in excessive production. So if there is the large number of T cells, they are getting activated by these bacterial toxins or the super antigens, it will result in excessive production of cytokines such as TNF alpha, interleukin 1, and this elevated or increased concentration of cytokines, it causes the fever, diarrhea, widespread blood clotting, and shock effect. Then certain cancers, abnormal production of cytokines. When there are the abnormal production of cytokines or their receptors associated to certain cancers like lymphoid and myeloid tissue, the cancer cell produce abnormally high levels of interleukin. The cancer cells which are present, or the tumor cells which are present in the host body, they will produce high levels of they will secrete high levels of interleukin 6 cytokine. The interleukin 6 will bind to the same cancer cell which produces it. Because of the binding of interleukin 6 with cancer cell, this is showing a autocrine type of the action. So because of the binding of the interleukin 6 with cancer cell, stimulates the proliferation of, and it will bring about, or it will make more it will develop, or it will show more growth, more proliferation of the more cancer cells. Then the Chagas disease, it is caused by the protozoan parasite Trypanosoma cruzi. The disease causes severe immune suppression in patient. By the unknown mechanism, T. cruzi or Trypanosoma cruzi suppresses the expression of, uh, of a subunit of interleukin 2 receptor present on the T cell. So this parasite it suppresses or it dominates the expression of the interleukin 2 type of the cytokine receptor which is present on the T cells, and this leads to the inability of binding of interleukin 2 on T cells, which results into inactivation of the peripheral T cells. It is observed that patients suffering from Chagas disease shows 90% of decrease in the level of a subunit. And last is the severe combined immunodeficiency, that is the SCID. One form of SCID results from genetically inherited defects in the gene encoding adenosine deaminase, an enzyme involved in nucleotide biosynthesis. Another form of SCID arises from a defect in a cell surface receptor protein that binds the cytokines which trigger the differentiation. In both the cases, the progenitor stem cells that cannot differentiate into mature immune cell such as T and B lymphocytes. So, SCID is the severe combined immunodeficiency which is resulting from the genetically inherited defects in the gene encoding mechanism of adenosine deaminase, which is an enzyme involved in the nucleotide biosynthesis. Another form of SCID which arises from a defect which is arising from a defect in a cell surface receptor protein that binds in a cell surface receptor protein. If there is a defect, then it that binds the cytokines. If there is a defect at this site, it will trigger the differentiation. In both the cases, the progenitor stem cells cannot differentiate into mature immune system cells such as T and the B lymphocytes. Clinically, SCID is characterized by a very low number of circulatory lymphocytes. There is failure to mount immune responses mediated by T cells. The other cell types are normal in number, but only lymphoid cells get depleted or get decreased in SCID. Children with these rare human diseases are highly susceptible to bacterial and viral infections, and the children which are showing this rare type of the severe combined immunodeficiency, they are very prone, or they are very highly susceptible to the bacterial or viral infection. They often suffer from a range of related physiological and neurological problems. In the absence of an effective therapy, the children must be confined in a sterile infection. So this completes your cytokines.